Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm going to talk about the new best loadouts for Season 5 in today's video, and we're pretty much just going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about my new favorite class in all of Warzone, the Growl and MP5. Now, once again, I need to clarify. I don't think this is the best loadout, but this is my favorite loadout, and I 100% think this is viable. I'm going to recommend this first because I know most people honestly prefer Modern Warfare guns, and this is one of the few times that I feel like Modern Warfare guns compete up close and in the long range meta, and I think this is overall just better for the game. As I said at the start, this isn't the best class, although I do think it's actually really good and 100% viable, but this is certainly my favorite class. In terms of overall feel, in terms of overall use, I just love this class, and I do think most people will love it too. We're now going to move into the second class, and this is going to be the bar with the MP40. I first need to explain something, guys. You should feel free to interchange any of the assault rifles and SMGs on this list and pair them together, because I genuinely think the most meta class in the game right now might be the MP40 with the Grau. Now, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I am starting to think that might be the actual meta, even though I'm not going to say that for sure. So do keep that in mind. You may want to take this MP40 and pair it with another gun I'm going to talk about in this video. But for me, I like the bar, and I'm making this kind of the Vanguard only class right now, and I think this is overall a great setup. If you're looking for any of the attachments, go down below in the description, and there you can find them. But I think this class offers good close range damage, good mid-range damage, and the only thing it's lacking is really long range capabilities. With the nerf of the 3 to 6 times scope on Vanguard snipers, and with the overall feel of the bar, gunfights at 150 plus meters are going to feel a little difficult, but anything within that range should be easily doable, and it's going to feel pretty good. The bar has a lot of damage, but a lot of kick that comes with it. And now, after all the nerfs to the Marco, the Blixen, almost every other meta SMG, the MP40 is just going to be too solid to pass up. When you're talking about recoil, mobility, everything, it's just an all-around great gun, and that's what I really want to focus on. We're now going to move into the third class, and this is going to be a sniper class, and this is going to be the Gorenko anti-tank rifle with the Volks. You can swap that sniper out with the HDR, the ZRG, or the 3-line rifle if you enjoy any of those more. I will say though, the Gorenko anti-tank rifle is being slept on. It is actually one of the best snipers in the game, and it is extremely unique in the way it works, and I would highly recommend giving it a try. Most people have never used this gun. Most people don't even know this gun exists, and I'm telling you, it is insane as a sniper. The Volks as a sniper support, it speaks for itself. The damage is up there with almost any gun in the entire game. It's super good overall. It has good recoil, it has good damage, and it's just a fun gun to use. I really enjoy it, and I'd highly recommend for pretty much anyone to use the Volks with whatever sniper they're using. The only thing to be aware of is if you're someone who mainly plays Resurgence on Fortune's Keep and Rebirth, you're going to want to use a different sniper class, and I'm going to get into that in my 5th class later on in this video. And the next class I'm actually going to talk about is going to be the best AR in SMG for Rebirth in my opinion. And this class is going to be the Groza with the PPSH. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Is this guy seriously telling me to use the Groza as a long range AR? And yes, I am. I was using it on Rebirth before they buffed it this patch, and this thing was insane. It is not meant for Caldera. It is not meant for the big maps. It is, however, meant for smaller maps and close to mid-range engagements, and that's where it shines. On these smaller maps, the damage is absurd, and it turns into a melt machine, and I would highly recommend for people to use this thing. It slaps, in my opinion. I don't use that term lightly. I hate kind of using adjectives like that. No, I don't. I use them all the time when I play. But what I'm trying to get across is, don't sleep on this thing. Just because you never heard of it, just because you've never tried it, I promise if you are a Rebirth Resurgence player, this will be amazing for you. The same thing is going to go for the PPSH. However, I gotta say, this one you probably might want to swap with the MP5 or the MP40 if it's not clicking with you. This is going to be extremely hit or miss. You're either going to love this gun or you're going to hate it. That's my opinion. I just think the visual recoil is going to make it so either some people are going to melt with it because of their ease of use with it, and I do think some people, Particularly those on console are going to struggle a little more with that visual recoil because of their reduced field of view. However, you do have to give it a try yourself and let me know what you think. So before we get into the honorable mentions, we're going to talk about the last class, and this is the Modern Warfare Kar 98 with the AS44. This is that whole resurgent sniper class I was talking about earlier, and this is meant for aggressive players. If you're someone who is pretty good at mid-range sniping, particularly in Rebirth with the Kar 98 or Swiss, then you're going to excel. There's three main snipers to focus on, and this is both Kar 98s from Vanguard and Modern Warfare, and then the Swiss from Cold War. All three of these are going to work as a more aggressive sniping option, and you're probably going to enjoy using either of them, but I would really recommend to go with the Modern Warfare Kar 98 in my personal experience. That's going to be personal preference. Each one has a little different bonuses and pluses and minuses and all of that, so it's going to be personal preference, but do keep that in mind. I would also recommend a pretty aggressive sniper support. I put the AS44, but you can use anything. You can use the MP40, you can use really any SMG, but I would just make sure you have something that's absolutely dominant between 0 and 10 meters. So I'm now going to shift into the honorable mention SMGs. I'm going to first start with the Armored Gorilla. Number 2, the Kohler MP5 with OTS9. Number 3 is the MP7 and CX9. And the last is going to be the Blixen with the Marco. The thing I really want to get across is if you enjoy any of those guns, like the OTS for example, then use it, because right now the meta is looking pretty wide open, and I think almost all of those are going to be viable. And the same thing is going to apply to the honorable mention assault rifles I'm going to bring up. Use whatever you're comfortable with, because guns are so much better now, and this is just basic loadouts. I didn't even talk about the Kilo, the Krieg, the Modern Warfare M4A1, the XM4. There's so many guns to talk about that are so good right now in my opinion. It would just be a 10-12 minute video, and no one likes that. You guys want quick meta videos, and that's what I'm trying to give right now. And with that being said, I want to get into the honorable mention ARs. I'm going to start with the Kilo and M13. Number 2, we're going to have the Vargo 52 and Krieg. Number 3, the Cooper Carbine and Automaton. And last, and certainly not least, the PKM and Bruin. Any of those guns on that list are pretty much just going to be just as good as the bar that I mentioned. It's going to be just as good as the Grau that I mentioned. And you should really use what you're comfortable with. I wish I could stress this enough. There is no real clear meta right now in my eyes. I do think there are a couple guns that are going to be better than others, but I don't think it's like other patches and other times where there's just an outright ridiculous meta dominating everything. And I do think we're going to actually have pretty good balance. So what I do want to get across is if you see any guns on any of my list, or if you don't even see a gun on this list, try it out yourself and use it. Don't feel pressured right now into using something, because as always, I'm sure in a week or two, there's going to be an absolute meta. They just buffed a ton of the marksman rifles to use assault rifles, and I could easily see something like the M1 Garand or the G43 just becoming so good, and you have to kind of use it. But right now, there isn't anything like that, and I just want to make that clear. Use what you're comfortable with, use what you enjoy, and you're probably going to have a good time. Anyways guys, this has been Ryan. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good day. Peace.